Alright, boys, and we're back with the UFC Fight Night Aljamain Sterling Yusuf Zalal that took place in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm going to go through most, if not all, of the fights on the card, giving my breakdown for basically every fight. I did not watch the Palastri fight. I did watch moments of it. It seemed as though Toledo was able to get inside of her range, and from there just kind of pick off a unanimous decision. Got her 3 takedowns from there. Probably did a lot of damage. Good talent. I don't know. Max Griffin, Victor Valencia. Didn't watch this one. I agree with it though. 53 strikes. 53 significant strikes. Wow. Lucas Brennan, Francis Marshall. This one I did watch. Francis Marshall, the fireman, was just firing his straight right hand down the pipe every single time, and Lucas Brennan had absolutely no defense for it. Lucas Brennan would keep on moving his head like a little bit off center, but he wouldn't do anything from it. He would just do it from a defensive perspective. And as we all know, when you move your head off center line, it tends to go back to the center line. So Francis Marshall just timed up a right hand the entirety of the fight, won by unanimous decision. Do I see him going far in the lightweight division? No. Maybe top 15. Maybe like a Drew Dober without a chin. But, I mean, other than that, good fight. Lucas Brennan had good footwork throughout the entirety of the fight. Francis Marshall had that straight right hand, though, that equalized both the striking and the footwork of Lucas Brennan. So, next up, Cody Durden and Philo. Now, this one was a close fight between the both of them, I will say, between the first and the second. It was very interesting, too, to see that Philo was bigger than Durden going up a division. Philo used to be in the flyweight division, now fights at 135, and he looked bigger than Cody Durden, who's been a 135er. But unfortunately wasn't able to get it done. Was able to reverse position a bunch of times once it got to the ground. But other than that, there wasn't really anything that happened, per se. Got caught a couple of times, had a knockdown once or twice throughout the entirety of the fight, but Cody Durden getting a bit of a resurgence in his career. Michelle Montague, Mauro Bueno Silva. Only thing I have to say about this, my God, is Michelle Montague big for the bantamweight division. Like, she was towering over Bueno Silva. Like, as soon as she got into side control, it was night and day, almost like Kayla Harrison coming down, which I believe they both train together, which is going to make things very interesting for the division. But she was able to get her 2 takedowns, and then from there, just kind of dominate the fight. Her stand-up's a little green. She does leave her chin up in the air, hands at the waist, especially when throwing a front kick to the body. But other than that, I mean, her wrestling and takedowns are bar none in the division, other than obviously the champion. Next up, Fight of the Night, Jackson McVeigh. Was it Fight of the Night? Oh, Performance of the Night. Jackson McVeigh, Cedric Dumas. Cedric Dumas basically just caved to the pressure after a couple of punches, fell straight to the ground. Jackson McVeigh was able to throw up I think it was a Darce choke, and just basically won the fight from there. Maybe get him somebody in the top 15. I think he deserves it now. I counted him out. I thought Cedric Dumas was going to win this one. Wasn't able to. You got to remember that he does fade in fights, especially when he does reach adversity. So, Eric Mecanico, Adolfo Vieira. Very close fight. Very close fight. Adolfo Vieira was getting cut up throughout the fight. So, I mean, if you do quantify damage as winning a fight, technically Eric Mecanico should be winning, which he did. But I feel as though Adolfo Vieira should have won. Reason being is because he had the takedowns, he had dominant positions, and he almost finished the fight with submission a couple of times. Eric McConaughey, with every single punch he threw, had just damage, which you could tell from the cut, bleeding, all that stuff. But I feel as though the fact that he was able to get 4 takedowns throughout the entirety of the fights should say something. So Eric McConaughey did win this one. Do I see him winning, a top 5 opponent like Imavov? No. Maybe get him somebody in the top 15. Maybe an Edmund Shabazian rematch would be fit. Ryan Spann, Marcus Buchecha. I had Ryan Spann in this one. Was able to get it done. He stuffed the takedowns, all but one. Was real close to getting submitted by a heel hook. But I gotta say, it's a little bit like a Timu Francis Ngannou. With every punch that he throws, it's devastating. But he needs to work on his takedown defense a little bit more and his submission defense. He needs to be able to get out of bad positions more effectively. Now, I will say he is up against a 13-time world champion jiu-jitsu grappling specialist. But, I mean, got to be able to throw in a couple of underhooks here and there, too, especially if you're going to be going up against the top of the division. Thomas Almeida, Walter Walker, what's his name? What's his name? Not Curtis Blades, but the guy, Josh Hockett, and Curtis Blades. So, but he's got devastating power. He was able to throw just a bunch of shots. Wasn't very eventful with there only being 20 strikes to 8 strikes, but when they did land, they landed with intent. So, Ronnie Barcelos, Montel Jackson. A lot of people thought that Montel Jackson was going to win this off of his reach. He has insane reach for the bantamweight division. Almost got it done. Knocked Hamidi Barcelos down early in the first. Was throwing a bunch of ground and pound. Looked like it was over. Hamidi Barcelos was able to grit his way through it, get up to the clinch, stay in the clinch, keep it close, and won by split decision. It was just kind of a little bit of a step back from Montel Jackson, but still, I feel as though Hamidi Barcelos was just kind of fluking his way out of a loss and got a win out of this one by split. So, where do I see him going from here? Maybe the top 15, maybe top 20. Montel Jackson, top 20. Get him somebody, maybe a Ricky Simone. Somebody of that caliber. Next up, Davy Grant and Martinetti. Very great fight. The footwork of Davy Grant is absolutely amazing, but there's not much to say about this fight other than the footwork of Davy Grant. The boxing of Davy Grant was amazing, put on display. But, I got to be honest, from this point forward, where does Davy Grant go? He's 40 in the bantamweight division. I mean, if he keeps cutting weight like this, could probably go far, but, seeing somebody at this age, at this stage of his career in the bantamweight division, but was able to get it done, put in a lot of power on the fight, so was able to get it done, unanimous decision. Next up, Rafa Garcia, Alexander Hernandez. The big thing about this fight was that Alexander Hernandez could not string together his combinations. Everything he threw was either one punch or it was 2 punches. It was a straight right hook, reset, jab, reset, jab, straight, reset. He would always back up after his combinations, which would allow Rafa Garcia to be able to reset and attack, which gave it this tit and tat kind of spar feel towards the fight. But you got to realize that when you're going up against a guy that loves throwing hooks and counters, especially to the body, they're going to be open after you throw an extended combination. Switch your stance, throw jab cross, and then convert that cross by stepping over into southpaw if you're orthodox. extending the range of your combinations. But unfortunately, wasn't able to do that and lost to him unanimously. Where do I see him going from here? Maybe the loser of. I'm thinking BSD. Like if he loses again, maybe get Hoffa Garcia. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Bobby Green if Bobby Green's still in there. I did not see this fight. I gotta be honest. But the underdog able to get it done. Jocelyn Edwards, outstriking her 2-1. Amazing. Get her a top 10, maybe top 5. In all honesty, I'd love to see Jocelyn Edwards versus whoever it was on this card. Michelle Montague. I'd love to see that fight, see how that goes. And then this one, I gotta be honest, I fell asleep. Aljamain Sterling was just backpacking him throughout the entirety of the fight. Everything I said about the prediction was wrong. I thought that his grappling was not going to work in the featherweight division because it really hasn't for the most part. Like, it's been more of a stalemate, which it was. It was a stalemate in this fight. But I said that it wasn't going to work, and Yusuf Salah is just going to use, his striking accliments. But unfortunately, as soon as you get taken down, you can't really use your striking accliments. So, Aljamain Sterling able to get this done. Bunch of ground control time. I think he should probably get either Lerone Murphy or a title shot next. I have to be honest. It's either that or get him Mofzar if he loses the next fight or something. I don't know. But anyways, if I had to grade this fight card, I'd have to say it's like a 6. It's a C. It's something I'd watch again, but I definitely wouldn't be jumping out of my seat out of anything that happened throughout this card. So next week we do have Jack Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates in Perth, which I will say is going to be super early. So I don't know if I'm going to be covering the reaction of this card in time, but this one's going to be amazing to see. Absolutely amazing. So I guess I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.